Big up, everybody. Welcome to Casually FC. Welcome to your match review for Fulham 1, Chelsea 2, in a very emotional roller coaster, and I would say emotionally confusing result. I don't know whether to be happy, annoyed, frustrated. I'm just a mess when it comes to this team right now. But welcome, everyone. I'm accompanied by the starting panel of Scott, Real Chicken Nugget Chris, as well as me, Casually FC, Marshall GPDX. You guys, before we start the show, as always, smash up the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Be sure to check out all the links in the description. You'll find more content on there, as well as my band's link as well, and my personal YouTube where we do streams on the weekends, all types of different things. But yeah, also guys, be sure to check out memberships if you haven't done so already. There are 4 different tiers starting at 99p. At just the starting tier, you get emojis you can use in the chat. So if you are here and you are a member, be sure to use those emojis to express yourself. How do you feel about the game? Respond with an emoji. But yeah, I don't really know what to make of today's game. I'll be so honest with you. I was very much already 1 foot out the door in terms of my hopes of Champions League. Ipswich, like I said, really killed all my hope. And even after this game, I still feel a sense of what's the point? I just don't think it's gonna happen. I'm not gonna get my hopes up. But Chelsea get a result that was surprising for a lot of us, to be honest. I don't think many of us, minus maybe the 1%, thought that Chelsea were gonna come out and win this. But before we actually fully discuss the game, our reactions and all that stuff, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a quick summary of today's match. Pretty much a strong lineup that we went out there with. We saw a lineup that had Reece James back in there in a right back inverting position. Cucurella was back in the side. Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo back in the midfield, with a Pedro Neto on the left and a Nani starting as well. Nicholas Jackson, Cole Palmer in the attack, ready to go. And Chalobah and Kobo as well, center back pairing. And the game, I'll be honest with you, like I said, the game was very much a frustrating one. Nicholas Jackson, again, missing chances, players missing chances. It was just frustrating to watch, and especially after the goal we conceded from our very own captain in the 20th minute, being, I guess, really confident in his physicality, not realizing Fulham have physical players as well. Shoved them fairly off the ball. He loses possession. It creates an opportunity for Fulham, and they take advantage. Alex Iwobi takes a shot, and it wasn't even a great shot. It goes past Levi Colwell. It rolls past Sanchez. I mean, it could have just been better all around, and Reece James could just maybe not take his time on the ball. It just seemed like he was checked out mentally. Very rare to see Reece James make an error like that, especially on the physicality side of things. But it is what it is, and the game continues on. Chelsea don't look like they're really up for it, at least from what I was watching. I mean, it didn't seem like we were really up for it. We had some chances, didn't really make much of them. I don't think Fulham was really like, beaten at the door a lot either. I mean, they only had one shot on target, 6 shots all game. It pretty much was like a boring match for me. I was checked out once the goal went in, and I just didn't know what to make of it. Second half came on, and then we made some substitutions. I believe it was, I think George came on, and it was a double substitution.
We made 2 subs in the 46 minutes.
It was
James.
It was Sancho and it was Gusto that came on at halftime.
No.
Okay. But James came off and Madueke came off. I just looked it up. So Malo Gusto came on and Sancho came on. I don't know if Malo Gusto came on for James for fitness reasons or tactical reasons.
90 minutes on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if James got hooked is what I'm trying to get at. And then Madueke came off for Sancho. Madueke may be a tactical thing. Jaden, I don't think played terribly, but that could be just me not really paying close attention. But yeah, things didn't really look like they were changing much up until Tariq George came on the in what minute was it? Oh my God, Malo Gusto got taken off again. Wow, I just noticed. Malo Gusto came on.
He came on
played for 45 minutes essentially, then Tosin came on. So he got hooked after he got subbed in, which got injured. It's a tactical. Oh, he did get injured, didn't he?
Malo Gusto?
Yeah, he did his hamstring. He's out for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did do his hamstring. I remember seeing that. See, that's what I mean, guys. I was checked out this game entirely. But the big difference of today's match came at the 78th minute when Tariq George was subbed on for Nicholas Jackson, who, again, another very horrible Jackson match. I'm not going to lie. This is it's starting to get ridiculous now with Jackson. And even all this hope of him coming back and improving our attack, it's not really happening either. But that being said, Tariq George came on and he looked like he was in the mood to get things done. And as a result, Tariq George has a moment where what was it again? It was, and I just rewatched this. I think Caicedo wins the ball back, or it was Enzo Fernandez gets it. Then he gives it to Neto, who chests it down from a cross or a long pass, and Robinson just toe pokes it out of the way, but out of the way was in the way for a Tariq George, and he volleys it. Brilliant goal, and now we're 1-1. Tariq George obviously injecting life back into this team. So big up to Tariq George for his performance today. And then shortly after, or not even shortly after, like 10 minutes afterwards, we get an opportunity from, Enzo Fernandez, who gets the ball across the box where Pedro Neto volleys it and does a 180 turn essentially. And it's in the air, but like he does like a 180 turn because the way it bounces, and then he just rockets it behind the net, and we steal 3 points from Craven Cottage, very much like how Fulham stole 3 points from Stamford Bridge in December. So it's kind of crazy how karma works. I don't know how to feel about the game. I'll be so real. I know we're in 5th place. We're 1 point behind City. Let me check real quick. In terms of standings,
Newcastle,
we're 1 point behind City in 4th.
Yeah.
And we're 2 points behind Newcastle. In 3rd.
3 against Nottingham Forest still.
Tied with points between Forest and Villa.
Yeah, but Nottingham's got a game in hand. If they do beat Tottenham, well, it could happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, it will be 3 points still behind Nottingham. Still,
Yeah, and it is
potentially.
okay. So this race has gotten a little smaller now in terms of the contenders. It was the top 10. Now it's looking like a race between 7th and 3rd. So Aston Villa, Forest, Chelsea, City,
3 teams can
Newcastle.
get in, 2 teams will get out.
All of us in trying to get into Champions League spots. Forest have lost 2 in a row. Villa are in a 5-game win streak. I don't see how they get stopped. Their next game is against City, so it could work out in our favor. But that also depends on if we do what we have to do, which is win matches. And I don't know how optimistic I am about that.
We did it today, man. All odds against Chelsea.
I mean, go ahead, Chris. I mean, how do you feel about the match, man?
The match itself, it was shit. It was probably one of the most dullest games like I've seen probably like for a while at Chelsea. But like, I will say at least we got the result. But yeah, we didn't really create many chances. I don't think Fulham created many chances either. I just thought one of those games where we just cancelled each other pretty well. It's just they got their goal from, like you said, Reece James. He made that mistake. I kind of missed that. Maybe I'm just like biased with Reece James. I just don't see no mistakes in him. But like, like we made a mistake from that, and I thought we still deserved the win in a sense because no, not deserved. I don't think we did. No, that's a lie. We got lucky. We just still got lucky with that because George came on and saved Chelsea's. Getting those 3 points for sure. But yeah, Jackson. I noticed like it's a lot different when Jackson came off, when George came on and Jackson came off. We scored 2 goals. So yeah, like I don't know what's happened to Jackson. His goals, his link up, his aerial is just obviously his aerial was never there, but like his link up has gone, his runs are even gone lately as well. He hasn't scored in 2025 as either. I don't think.
Nope.
No. That's what I mean. I feel like the manager's just got to like grow some and just drop Jackson. I know he's just gotten back, but like I see nothing what Jackson offers to Chelsea right now. He doesn't do the runs, he doesn't do the link up. His touch has got worse actually. Like that ball where was it Neto or Madueke? I think it's Madueke who crossed it into him and he had a bad touch and that was a golden opportunity to score as well. But I mean, I still think we got hope as well for top 5 because it's only like points, 2 points, 1 point, 3 points between each other. And these teams are dropping points still. We just saw Newcastle lost 4-1 to Aston Villa. Games like this was going to happen. Like it's a very mid-off, like top 5 battle for these 5 teams. Is it? Yeah, 5 teams.
Yeah.
But I said today, like for me, I have hope if we can beat Fulham and beat Everton as well. Because if we lose to Everton, what's the point winning today? So I do have hope for that. But like, we still got a harder run in the last 4 games. I think we got Liverpool, we got Man United, we got Nottingham Forest, and I forgot who else we got. But there's a 4th team in there. I think is it Newcastle? We got Newcastle, haven't we?
We got Newcastle. So we've got Everton next, then Liverpool. Then
I think we'll beat Everton at home though.
Everton. Then what's the weekend after that?
I have no idea, to be honest. I just know that Liverpool game.
I got it.
Then it's Newcastle.
Yeah. Yep.
Then it's United, then Forest.
I will say also,
Yep.
I think it's quite easy to say most of the players today were quite poor. I don't think Caicedo was like that amazing either. I thought he was making a few sloppy passes, but I thought defensively he still helped, so I don't think he's like awful. But
ladies and gents, we have been raided. Big up Don Hussam. Appreciate the raid, my friend. Thank you so much, everyone who's coming over from Hussam's raid. If you haven't done so already, be sure to smash up the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow the community out here. And Chelsea won. You would think I'd be a little bit more uppity and cheery, but I don't know. I feel like they're setting me up to hurt me again. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry, Chris.
I would say the only 2 standouts for me today was probably Cucurella, maybe just Cucurella. I thought Colwell was okay. I actually did. Like, there was one really good intercept in the air he did. I know it's like minimal, but like they crossed it in, and I ain't seen this really enough from our centre backs anyway. But Colwell like intercepted with his head, and I don't know if you remember that, but like I think a few of us did notice it. But I thought most people, everyone pretty much was just poor, but except for maybe Kukurea, to be honest. But that's just becoming a normal thing, to be honest. Cole Palmer, awful, obviously, but like, yeah, I still have a little bit of hope because we're just in the race still somehow. We're just shit, but we're still in the race. So until we like play Everton, like if we win that game, we still move on to like the top 5 race anyway. But
I'll say this.
Other teams will still drop points because they're facing each other as well.
If we do beat Everton, my faith will be restored a little bit more. But this game, we were losing. Like, let's be real. Like, I expected us to drop points after a while. Like, because like even after that goal, and I don't know about you guys, like even after that goal that we conceded, it just didn't feel like the team was up for it. It felt like the team dropped their heads and they weren't up for it anymore. Like they were just so sucked of morality that it just, I don't know. Scott, did you feel the same way, or is it just me?
No, I didn't feel like their heads dropped in terms of like they felt defeated. It felt like for most of the game that we played today, we were just lost. Like Maresca, that was a really interesting game from like a Maresca point of view because he did save the game with his subs. Like ultimately, say what you want about him, and I think there are definite negatives you can point out from him today.
Yeah,
his subs did change the game. You know, Sancho and George specifically. I thought Gusto before he got injured was good defensively, especially going forward he sucks, but like we know that. I thought defensively he was very good before he got injured. It was actually one of his better games. Sancho I thought was very good. I agree when he came on. George was just a breath of fresh air up front. So they did help, but I thought everything before we made the subs was just like these players just look lost, man. Like the entire front four looked like they'd never played together before. Like outside of Neto, who was trying his best, the other three looked like they'd literally never played a game of football together. The midfield looked lost. Enzo Fernandez today stank. Outside of the assist he got, Caicedo, I thought got better in the second half, but the first half was quite poor. But it just mostly came from him and Enzo. Like I mentioned with the attack, looking like they were playing 2 different games of football in that first half. The defense was okay, but that's probably one of Kukurea's worst first halves I've seen. Reece James wasn't great. And yeah, like I said, I don't think it's a case of like players dropping their heads or not playing for the manager. I think they just look lost. They just look like they don't understand what's being told of them. And ultimately that comes down to the manager to be able to communicate that effectively, which he's not doing if they look lost and we're at the end of April. But despite everything, and despite all the negatives, and I think there are quite a few you can take from this game, ultimately we won. And we did something we haven't done in nearly 2 months, and that's come back from being a goal behind to win a game. The last game we did that was at the start of February. No, sorry, start of March. Actually, no, I was wrong. It is the start of February. It was when we played West Ham. That's the last time we've come back from being a goal down and won a game. Nearly 3 months.
Yeah, I mean,
I felt like we did it somewhere. I don't know why.
No, that's the first, Chris. That's the first time I checked that. So West Ham was the last game we've come from behind to win a game. We've come from behind to like draw games in the league. I mean, that's the first time in the league since West Ham we've come from behind to win a game. And that was on the 3rd of February, I believe that game was.
I think we did to Aston Villa, but we lost to Aston Villa, didn't we?
What?
I thought we did to Aston Villa, but I think we actually lost.
No, we drew that. I think we drew that game. Let me check. I did check earlier.
We were winning, and then Jurgensen conceded the mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was we would.
I think we actually lost that game, to be honest.
We did 2-1.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah, I was right. The 3rd of February, West Ham, we beaten 2-1. There hasn't been another game since then that we've gone behind and then won in the league. I mean,
is this now the point in the season where, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but is this where we now turn to our youth now to get us out of this?
We should have done already. Like Joey mentioned this on Ahmed's stream earlier, and I hadn't really thought about it, but he made a good point with this. Outside of Liverpool, who are about to win the league title. Every other team at some point this season has had to turn to the youth in their team to fill a spot or to pull a match winner from or whatever. You look at Arsenal, Wanyeri as an example, but the bigger example is England's new left back, Miles Lewis-Skelly, who has been a revelation this season. And like, I don't like Arsenal, but he has been immense for them this season. That's a centre mid playing left back. You look at Manchester City, they've got a number 10 playing left back who won them the game the other day in Nico O'Reilly. They've also had minutes this season from McAtee, who's been very good. They've also have had Rico Lewis play right back most of the season and has been pretty good this season. You look at United, a lot of their good moments, like Collier's been good. Like, obviously they're doing shit, but Collier's come in done really good. You look at other teams, and I know it's not necessarily their youth, but like I look at Maatsen, obviously a young player, starting over the experienced player at Aston Villa, and you can keep going through that as well. Like Livramento is another one, Hall as well at Newcastle. We haven't done this enough, and this is one of the faults that I think Maresca has had this season. I think a lot of the whole youth thing that people want to say with him, and he's played the most minutes, it's like, so much of that for me is posturing, for lack of a better way of putting it. It's like for example today, right? There was a moment, and he's a coward for this, by the way. There's a moment where
Enzo?
No, Gusto gets injured. Gusto gets injured. You have a ready-made replacement on the bench. You have a ready-made replacement on the bench who you've seen being able to do the same job in Josh Achimpong, and you bring Tosin on to put Alaba right back again, which we saw in the last game didn't work. You're lucky it didn't cost us. Luckily, because of the good work with the attackers, it didn't make a difference. But that's cowardly for me. That is cowardly.
Where you're coming from.
The George thing, by the way, like, he's had opportunities to do that, and he hasn't done that. We see this as 2 games in a row. George has, like, been given more minutes and has played well. Basically, I'll be honest, outside of like maybe 1 or 2 games at the start of the season, at the very start of the season, every game George has played, he's had a positive impact on the team. Every single game.
Crazy, Scott. I genuinely think that if Mark Guiu didn't get injured, he would have gotten goals that would have seen us maybe turn some of the losses and the draws.
He was another one, by the way.
When he played in the conference league, he gave everything, bro. Like, say what you want.
No. I agree, but it took to the point of Jackson being that out of form at the time and having that bad a game on deadline day in the January window for you to give him a chance in the league. He then promptly got injured the same game. And when I say chance, I mean more than like 5 minutes.
Scott, it's the same thing. It's the same thing I blame Maresca for. Like, he's so slow to realize things aren't working. Like, how many games did we suffer Gusto 10? In like that 10 right has.
How many games?
How many games did it take for him to realize Nkunku in the 9 is not going to work? You feel me? Like, he still hasn't realized. But in the 9, maybe if he did that sooner, we would have rescued maybe 2 or 3 more points. Which right now, you look at the table, 2 or 3 is a lot.
But the thing is, RSM, the Nkunku in the 9, he's still like, this game could be the turning point on that. Up until this game, he still hadn't learned because he was still doing
it was because of his quotes. It was because of his quotes.
He did it like 2 games ago. Like he did it like 2 games ago. But like, this is what I'm saying. Like, if Maresca is going to continue next season, there have to be certain things that he has to be able to do. And number one is give some of these players a chance. I'm not a Cobham guy, I never have been. But my always thing with the youth is you bring them into the squad, give them minutes when you can to show if they can handle it. They've shown they can handle it, both Achimpong and George. Cool. Your next step is giving them actual real minutes in the league. It doesn't have to be starting minutes all the time. However, as I mentioned earlier, I would start George in the next game. But give them 20 minutes in a game to show what they can do in a league game. Not conference league, in a league game where they can show, can they hang with the physicality of the league, with the pace of it, and with everything. George has now shown he can handle that. So has Achimpong. They've shown they can be at minimum squad players, which is what they should both be next season.
I've never been a big Cobham guy, but bro, if they're talented and they show it on the pitch, they deserve to play. Like, there's no excuse. There's nothing.
I saw a couple of people tweet about this, and I agree. When it comes to like, and we spoke about this a little bit on our channel when it came to like the wingers we're looking at, right? George already is better than Garnacho, number one. And you look at Gittins. I saw someone tweet this, and I thought about it. And I was like, yeah, you know what? They're kind of right. Gittins is just George if you give him the same amount of time that Gittins has had at Dortmund. Like that, George could turn into that same level if he's given that same amount of time that Gittins has been given at Dortmund. Because Gittins last season was barely starting. If this is the season he's become a first-team starter, and I say that he's now been dropped, but this was the season he became a regular first-team starter in Gittins. Last season he was like a bit part player, getting like I think he got like 1,000 minutes or something in total in the league or something like that. Why George should be that next season? He should be getting the games against your Ipswiches or Leeds or whoever it is that gets promoted from the Championship, and he should be the one getting 30 minutes off the bench. There is absolutely no reason to go and get someone who, like, the only winger we should be getting ahead of him is a world-class guaranteed, like, I'll accept a Williams maybe, but we're not going to sign him. Outside of that, I'm talking Barcola, Lookman, KK, those type of wingers.
What about Leo?
If we get Gittins and our wingers are Gittins and George, like, George can't find a winger to take his place.
I was gonna say with George, like you talking about like
backup for Madueke and then Gittins with the backup Tyreek.
Say that again, because your microphone cut out and then it comes back in.
No, I said it's essentially what unless they're playing on it being Madueke with Esteval as the backup or something like that, right? And then Gittins with George as the backup. But even then, for me, like that's not an upgrade. We just upgraded the depth if you want to see it that way. But the starters, I don't know.
I was gonna say that's not honestly. If that's what they're gonna do, I'd rather them just keep Neto. I'd rather them spend all the money they have on the striker and put Neto as the starting left winger, and George as his backup.
Yeah, I mean, part of me also thinks like, I don't know. Like, do you guys feel that Tariq George? Is part of you feeling that he's better off as a impact sub, or do you?
Right now. He's a starter. He offers better link up to me. He offers offers better link up and Jackson, better movement. Even the shooting so far looks better than Jackson this season, and his touches look better. So to me, he starts over Jackson or even Sancho, even so as well. Like no problem.
This is the thing too. Is this is the issue though? Is Jackson is moving like he thinks that number 9 position is reserved for him no matter what.
Yeah, that's why he's moving like in Kunko. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's what I'm saying. He moving exactly like the one that pissed me off the most. I think is the pass that he got from Nani, where his fat touch just put it right into the keeper. He tried to control it instead of just shooting it first time. And then he started complaining to the ref that he was like pushed. Brother, what are you talking about? You're in the box. Obviously, you're gonna have a defender on you, but you should still be able to at least get a shot off in that position. For me, he's moving like he thinks that that's like his position. No matter what, he needs to be benched. So whether or not we can have a discussion where he deserves to be impact sub, I think the bigger thing is Jackson needs to be on the bench, bro. He needs to hold bench. Just the thing we were saying with Palmer for a while. They needed to hold bench.
And do you know what my thing is with Jackson? I said this on Armour stream earlier. It's like my issue with Jackson isn't necessarily the finishing, because like we know that's spotty, right? Today it's like how bad everything else was. Like his positioning sucked, his link up play sucked, his touch sucked. Like the chances he actually missed today, I don't think were even that bad. Like I know we talk about the touch, but I don't think he can really do much with that shot. Like I don't think anyone is taking a shot there and really doing much with it. Unless you're one of the very strikers of world football, which there are so few out there at the moment. And I think even with the touch, like there's not really much he can do because the ball is fizzed in at such a pace. And the cross as well, the Neto one, like I know people are getting on with that. I don't really have too much issue with that. Like he's just a little bit late to get it. And like it's not like he doesn't try and get it. Like it's just he just can't get there. It's like I said, it's everything.
The Nani
else.
one is the Nani one is the egregious one. To be honest, that was the bad
one. I'm not as mad at that as you are. Like I said, I don't think there's too much else he can do there. Like he has to try.
For me, it was no. For me, I think you could reliably get a shot off in that position. I mean, bro, we literally saw Tyreek George, we saw Neto do like basically a pirouette and hit it. Like it's not impossible to think you could get a shot off there.
Neto and Tyreek had more space in there. It's like I said, unless he's going to do like a flick, which I don't think he's got the technique for, I don't think he can hit that like and get it in. Like I said, unless he's one of the elite strikers, which he's not, we know that. But like I said, it's just everything else about the rest of his game. And that's what my thing with Jackson's always been. Even if he isn't scoring, he's bringing other players into the game. He's holding the ball up well. He's making life difficult for the centre-backs. He did none of that this game. He was a complete passenger. That's what's worse. Like I can accept his finishing being a bit meh if every part of the rest of your game is good. Like we've seen him have positive games where he's been like that, where he's missed chances, but it still has had a positive effect on the game.
Would you?
This was not.
Sorry. would you agree like Jackson's last positive impact when he came on as a sub against Brentford because they like the movement, the link up? That's the last time I remember him actually having a positive.
Yeah,
probably.
The one, and actually, Billy G makes a good point. The one bit of good play Jackson had today, where he does what he normally does, he created a chance for Neto.
I actually didn't notice.
It's like outside of that, there was just nothing, and I think you can see that whatever it is, whether it's confidence, whether it's just being lost,
maybe
whether it's like, yeah, there's.
Hey, by the way, what team was it this season where he was in the exact same position and he scored it near post? Because he's done that this season.
Jackson?
I don't think he much.
Yes.
Much he can do personally.
Maybe were you on about maybe West Ham, like the left side of the corner, and he slid in between.
No, it was one like this, bro.
What this
was
angle?
it Villa at home?
Bro, I'm telling you,
this season.
And then we had kind of a dirty angle against West Ham.
It was bro, I'm sorry, it was exactly like this, and he squeaked it. It was exactly like this, like somebody gave a cross to him from across the goal. Let me see.
But see, the positioning here is it's fantastic, but a better striker puts that away.
I just was lousy.
It almost seems also
I'm a tested keeper at this point. That's what I'm saying.
It almost I'm seeing if the next angle is the closer view of it. No, it's not. But you see from the other angle, he almost gives up on it just not to foul the keeper. But it's bro, just commit to it. I don't know, man. He's just been so frustrating since he's come back.
It's just everything, and for me, like I said, I'm gonna keep reiterating this as well. Next game, Jackson has to be on the bench and Tyreek George has to be starting striker.
I wouldn't sell him. I would at least promote him to backup.
If Maresca doesn't do that, considering the turnaround we saw in this game, and the difference that Tyreek George made off the bench as a striker, he's a coward.
Yeah,
Marshall, go to Chelsea versus Villa 4 months ago, bro.
I disagree with cowardly. As long as Tyreek George is an option, that's fine. He doesn't have to start him.
What game was it, RSM?
Chelsea versus Villa 4 months ago.
I agree with
Jack can't keep performing as badly as he did, and then it's not just how badly. Tyreek George came off and completely changed the game for us. Came off the bench.
That's fine, and he could do the same. He could do the same again. He just has to be involved. It doesn't have to be. He instantly has to start because.
I'm sorry.
So you prefer him as an impact sub?
For now, yeah. This season, yeah.
No.
If he starts this week, what's probably going to happen is he'll be marked out the game and won't actually do anything because Everton are quite good defensively. So he'll be marked out, and then we'll go, well, what's the point in starting him? So it'll be like that. So
I don't want his confidence to lower. I don't want his confidence to lower being marked.
I wasn't finished, by the way. So I hadn't finished. It would be prudent probably for him to actually just continue what he's doing right now. Maybe bring him on a bit sooner than today to have more of an impact. But as long as he's involved, it's fine. Then if you want to start building up for the end of the season, that's fine as well.
Look, he did this literally 4 months ago.
Achimpong should probably be the one who starts more at right back. Then, because I think Reece.
I agree.
I
agree with that too.
Reece was shit.
Gusto's injured too, anyways.
Gusto's injured. I agree. That's what I put was where I agree with Scott when he said cowardly. I would have put Achimpong on at right back.
Is that his weak foot?
Got injured.
It is his weak foot. I don't think this is the same, by the way. This type of shot isn't the same. He's got more space to run onto it. If you see the Noni one.
The thing is, this is the thing, Scott, right? It's a different type of shot. But the thing is, this one is bouncing on his weak foot. The ball is bouncing, and he's hitting it with his weak foot near post. So my point, the instinct to shoot it from that angle, right? You could do it with your weak foot on a bouncing ball, but then you receive it lower to the ground to your right foot. You can't even get the shot off.
No, RSM, it's not necessarily RSM. It's not about how he receives. It is about how he receives. It's not about the foot and whatnot. It's about where the ball is positioned when if you look at it here, he can't. If he gets that shot where he's putting it wide, he's not getting any power on it. He just doesn't have that ability. And some of this is coming. That's why I said, unless you're in a league,
you don't even need that though.
I don't think you're getting this great first time and scoring. Personally, I think you have to take a touch there.
The way you generate the way you generate the power on this type of shot isn't getting necessarily your foot behind it, but as the ball is rolling, you swing your foot at it, and then that's how you get the power behind it. So you don't wait for the ball to kind of hit your foot and then you meet it. You meet it before it even hits your foot.
But even then, like, you don't necessarily even need power here. Like, I've seen rollers from here, you know, like at least get a shot on target for this one.
Well, that's my point. I'm pissed that he didn't get the shot on target, and when he did try to control the ball, look where the touch went.
This is clearly a confidence issue for him. And honestly, it's a confidence issue for a lot of the players on the team, which it's just that's the other thing too. I kind of want to see how these players react after this. Was this the confidence booster to finally get you guys to perform at the level you were performing earlier in the season? Like, will we start seeing goals now from players, maybe even the wingers? It doesn't have to be Jackson or Palmer. Like Neto right now. I feel like Neto is confident. Neto is feeling himself in terms of his confidence. Jadon Sancho, another one that I feel like is feeling himself. He's starting to make impacts onto the game. Nani, I don't think has been phased too much. He's always going to be direct, and I like that about him. But like, you look at Cole and Nico. I mean, these are the weakest links right now. Cole had some moments today, and actually I do want to talk about Cole. I feel like today there was moments where Cole was feeling confident, but then the arrogance kicked in. Let me be the one to get a goal. Let me be the one to make the brilliant play. He had this one brilliant play today. He dribbles past two Fulham players, and then he runs into Bassi. And Bassi just shoves him off the ball. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's again with the hero ball antics. And like, it's like, I don't even know what to do with Palmer at this point in terms of a solution. You play him against Legia Warsaw for confidence. He doesn't get it. Played like shit that game. We actually end up losing. And then you give him games like today, and he doesn't make nearly as much of an impact as you would want him to. I think he had okay moments, maybe even created some chances, but there's no GNA. It's dried up, and it's concerning.
Marshall, I don't think that's like, I disagree with you. I don't think it's arrogance. Like, it's just a confidence thing. Like, it's just overthinking things and like lack of decision making. Like you mentioned the moment about the Bassi thing. Like, that's just him not releasing the ball early. Like, if he could release the ball early to Madueke in that situation, which he was doing earlier on in the season. Yeah. But it's just a confidence. Like, it's literally just a confidence thing. Like, it's not an arrogance thing. It's just like, confidence.
You beat two players. Like, he just got greedy.
You can see the shot he took in the second half that went into Rosette. Like,
yeah.
If that's a goal earlier in the season, that's probably a goal, or it's at least on target. Making the keeper think, like, it's just confidence with him. And ultimately,
I can't think of another time where I've seen Cole Palmer miss that bad.
The game before, actually. Literally, it's not as bad as like how far it went. The Legia game, he literally had a very good chance, and he like whiffed it like aside, like same angle, same position. It's just it didn't go as far as today's, but I would say it's just as bad against a worse team as well. It's like minute one, I think, as well. I think it was.
Yeah, CP, you look like you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to talk with regards to Jackson. His quality is just not good enough, and I want him sold next season. If we get Delap, fine. But as I said, if we're doing Delap, I want Delap and David. I'm done with this guy. I'm officially done. I don't care. He does not work. I don't want him as a backup either. Because my thing is, if we're not getting Oshman, I want for this club is if we're getting Delap, fine, but you're getting me Jonathan David. Two people, one who scored as much is 2 goals away from how much he scored in a better squad with Chelsea, and one has scored 15 plus goals every season for the past 6 years. So get him gone. He doesn't work as a backup winger or left wing option. We saw how he was on the left side too. Shit. His link up, you know what you saw today? You saw how shit Jackson is as to why our attack is so shit. Because when he was doing those flicks and tricks in the beginning of the season and last season, it made our attack more fluid. And we saw that with Tyreek George, because Tyreek George was doing good link-up play before he scored the goal. That's what made the attack more fluid in the second half when he came on. And that's the issue. He's not doing that anymore. So officially, he's not doing anything for me as a striker. He does not give me box presence. His link-up play is now gone. He doesn't finish the ball. He doesn't attack space really ever. So what is he doing? I'm not, and I can't give him no more excuses. It's been 3 months where he was good. Other than that, he was decent in terms of link-up play last season. That's apparently died this now. So he's not offering me anything. I don't want him as a biker. If a backup striker, because I'm sorry, if Liam Delap is a 30 million release clause, sell him for 40, 45, 50. I don't care. I can get a Jonathan David on a fee. I'm literally saving money in terms of transfer.
50 for Jackson?
I'm just giving numbers. I don't know. I'm just saying, if Delap is costing me 30, even if I can sell Jackson for 35, 40, 50, let's say. Delap is costing me 30. He's 2 away from what Jackson's best was last season. And I could get a Jonathan David on a free. Yeah. Why wouldn't I do that?
Well, I mean, let me bring this question to the table that Dark asked, and it seems like it's become more and more relevant in recent days because of our form. You were warned about Leicester fans that drop-off happened to them too. Is this the same thing, guys?
I think it is.
Why is it? That's the part that confuses me. Why?
It's just like lack of ideas. Like
inexperience, bro.
Like, it's not. Yeah, I say it's inexperience. It's lack of being able to like understand. Like he got out coached today. I'll be like, up until we made the subs, Maresca was getting out coached. But you can't sit there and look at our attack and look at Fulham's attack and tell me that quality wise, their attack is better than us on quality alone. Like you can't sit there and tell me that Ryan Sessegnon is not better than any of our attackers, but he looked very good in that first half because the way they set up and the way they wanted to attack us was in direct counter attack to how we set up. Every time Reece inverted into that midfield, they made sure they had a runner down the outside, literally attacking the space he vacated. And it was even the same to an extent when Gusto came on. It's just Gusto was recovering a lot better until we got injured. Like. For me, he just got found out. And again, the issue I have is there's a couple of things. Number one, this team is just so much better. Like the setup of this team and the profiles we have is at the moment is just so much better set up for a counter-attacking style. And when we do go down, or when we do have to like battle for a moment, like I said earlier, the whole team looked lost. The whole team just looks lost on a football pitch. They've not played together before. We're about to hit May. How's that happening? Look like a preseason game.
That first half did look like a preseason game.
Yeah, second half, I think he outcoached Silva the entire second half because we were better the entire second half than Fulham. He outcoached Silva. His subs helped. He's more flexible. He allowed Cucurella to overlap. He didn't really play the inverted much with Gusto and stuff like that, like he did with Reece in the first half. I say Jackson was a bit more involved. Wasn't that much involved, but a bit more involved. Someone put there he doesn't coach the attack. Well, that's bullshit. Because how many big chances have we missed? What are we talking about here? Doesn't coach the attack. It's absolutely
second
big from NETO today.
We're I think in terms of the Premier League, we are second in big chances created and first in big chances missed.
And what it is that is the point is that what is the slowness of effectiveness only happens at halftime, not in a game in the first half. So it should have been changed in the first half. Like that, and that's the problem because you don't know what the scoreline is going to be when you get to halftime, so you can have an effect so you can have more effect when you make the changes and stuff like that. But it's like I'm trying to be fair and balanced. It's like I'm trying to be like consistent and go, well, isn't this to be expected though? Do you know what I mean? When you have the setup you have the coach who's got one season of a championship club who comes here with everything else, including himself, the whole operation smells of inexperience and immaturity. The whole entire operation, Chelsea reeks of inexperience and immaturity in every level of this club. So when you add coach into that, I do like modern day coaches because I think their coaching is good, their stubbornness is off the scale. It's not just Maresca, just modern day coaches. Their stubbornness
Look at Arteta.
is off the scale. It's not even close. It's like
Xabi Alonso.
my way or the highway. But he did make. We've got to be fair to him.
Xabi Alonso's been flexible this season, to be fair.
Gotta be fair to him. He did make changes. We made changes the way we played. The subs helped, and that's what subs are supposed to do, though. Subs are supposed to make an impact. Hopefully, do you know what I mean, and stuff like that. If subs is not working, people will go, "Well, he only put on George because Nkunku wasn't there." But he left Nkunku out for technical reasons, so he made the choice to leave out Nkunku. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like Nkunku's injured. It's technical reasons, which he gave for technical reasons, remember, at Sterling at the start of the season. So, actually, he made the choice to put George on and leave Nkunku out. Whatever you can say about that. It's not because Nkunku's injured or suspended, so you can hold that. But it has to be the point of the focus has to be on him, about how we start games, how we get into the same rhythm all the time about that, and then not like we did even last week against Ipswich. We were far better the second half than the first half, obviously. You know what I mean? Even the first half of this season, we were better the second half than the first half. You know, we made changes and stuff like that, and that's what we got credited for. But we're just lucky that, you know, Sanchez, apart from the goal, Sanchez was rarely tested today.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Rarely tested today. He had
one shot on target all game, Andrew.
I can't even remember being frustrated. I can't even remember having and it's rare. A Chelsea game where I go, "Oh no, Sanchez," or "Fucking hell, Sanchez." I can't remember that today. I really can't.
No, I can't either.
Remember that today. And people try and put his part in for the goal. Like, I don't know. I think that's a bit harsh, but it's like we have to be able to celebrate these type of games, because we haven't won away. We haven't won away in ages. We literally done to Fulham what they did to us. Remember, like everyone was crediting Marco Silva when they beat us about he outcoached Maresca and stuff, like look at his subs and that. And that's what we should do it the other way around. We credit Maresca what he done to Silva, what Silva done to him back in December. Ironically, that was the start of our bad run, I think. But we lost to Fulham. You know what I mean? That was the start of the bad run, essentially. That's why we ended up the way we are right now. I mean, we're coming into a weekend ending, but tomorrow we have to pray that Spurs do something to Forest. That's how bad our run of form has been. Do you know what I mean?
Again. Not again with Spurs.
We just have to take this win. But it just what frustrates me about this. What frustrates me more about this win is last week's result, because we all said it. We'd actually reverse. If you reverse the results, we'd actually take the.
Yeah, didn't you say you'd be pissed off if we won this?
Someone did. Someone did.
Someone said that.
Pissed off the fact that we drew last week. A far easier game than this game, because if you reverse the results and it's a win last week and a draw this week, I think everyone would go, fair dues. Draw away at Fulham, tough place.
But you know what it is, and I said this too. I said the thing that kills me about that Ipswich game is like it was our attack scored 2 goals. Like, say what we want about the big chances that we missed and the saves that their keeper made, we scored 2, but the defense gave away 2 easily preventable goals.
Yep.
It's unfortunate, but that's the reality. Like, if you cut out one of those defensive errors, that's a 2-1 win.
It was
so annoying.
This week,
that's why the game annoys me.
And this week, the defense hardly gave away any chances, and it was the attack wasteful in the second half, where the shots were straight at the goalkeeper. All the shots were straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's what it was. That was the irony. That was the flip reverse to this week. Because apart from that goal, like I said, and the offside, I don't count the offside goal. It's not a chance. They don't register that as a chance. But apart from the goal, I'm struggling to think of a clear-cut. Someone will have to remind me of clear-cut Fulham chance. I cannot remember.
The only one I can think is that one. The one where the go for the header, but
I can't. Yeah, it's like that. It's like,
I mean,
I can't remember.
Their XG was 0.22.
But I'll say this. Hold up. I will say this. Like, you know what? The similar in the Ipswich game, right? Is we basically got a halftime sub of Gusto, and then Sancho came on, right? And he ended up getting the goal. You know what the big difference was? When he subbed out Jackson, he subbed him out in the 87th minute for who? So not only did he sub out Jackson too late, he put on Nkuku. Like this will upsets me, right? This is the Andrew says, like, if we just had, if we subbed on Tyreek George earlier last game instead of Nkuku, I feel like we might have also gotten something. I'm being dead serious.
Right, but he might be. This technical reason we'll have to see in the Everton substance thing. But this technical reason might be him just going, "Yeah, you're done." I mean, for the league, whether he'll choose him.
I hope so. I've been saying I don't want to see it anymore.
Wait and see, but you know,
even for the Conference League, I'd tell him to. Like I'd have Tyreek George start the.
I would as well. I'm just saying this technical reason is. What's technical?
Yeah.
What was the technical part of it?
No, Scott, I disagree with one point you saying that our attack is better than Fulham's. I looked at the numbers of their attack, and you can't tell me that. Raul Jimenez has 10 goals.
Bro, I'm not talking numbers, bro. I'm talking like based on talent.
I mean,
like,
we have Cole
there's a
Palmer,
way to start for us.
I don't care about talent right now. We have a lot of
there's a way to start for us.
talented. No, I'm saying we have a lot of young kids coming.
Also, by the way, hold on. By the way, take away talented. Hold up. Take away talented completely. At no point did Fulham's attack this season ever look as good as our attack did at the beginning of the season.
Way more chances.
That's my point. Is that we've seen we've seen a bit of what the ceiling can look like for our attack, and we were moving to teams at the beginning of the season. We were moving like for the entire first half of the season. We were moving on teams in terms of attack, and I've never seen Fulham do that. And this is the whole point. Like the fact that we're saying that we're so pissed off is we saw what the attack was doing in the first half of the season, which made the drop off that much more dramatic because we were falling from somewhere.
Yeah, and even they brought Vinicius on. Vinicius came on, and he didn't impact the game.
No, but my disagreement is that
we scored 10 more in Fulham this season now.
Yeah, no, my disagreement is that we're falling off when they were rising, right? That's when they were winning games recently. That's where the numbers are coming from. So when Scott is saying at this current moment, at this time, that Fulham's attack is not as good as ours, I would disagree. Palmer hasn't scored a goal since December. Jackson hasn't scored a goal since December.
No, he has scored since December, actually.
In the league?
Yeah, he scored in January.
Okay, sorry, I apologize. Okay, besides that, our wingers aren't doing much, right? We complain about Madueke coming back, Pedro Neto, whoever it is. They have Iwobi and those guys. Iwobi has 9 goals and 5 assists in the league. So in terms of before today's game, I would say we're still a little better, but I would say we're very as close as we could get due to our recent form. That's the only thing I would say.
I would just, but the issue where I would say what that is the fact that like Fulham's team, they're not producing the amount of chances that our attack gets. And the biggest thing for me when you speak about an attack, right, and players being like, oh, this player is really good, it's the same issue that we had, right? Once teams started respecting us second half of the season and playing low blocks, you saw how much more difficult every single game got. Because when you're a top team, when your attack starts putting up numbers and teams start putting 5 at the back and respecting you, the game gets a lot more difficult. And Fulham's attack relies on the fact that they're going to be able to counterattack quickly and be incisive when they're counterattacked, when they win the ball back. They're not necessarily the team that tries to, pass anybody to death or have an intricate necessarily game plan. I mean, and he's right though. Anthony Robinson is a big part of the reason why their attack looks so good. And for me, when we speak about our attack, right? Like our attack, I'm not doing this to praise the attack or glaze them or say that we're amazing. But this is the issue that I have, even when people start saying like we're going to, lose in the conference league, we're not making the final. Are you sure that we're going to get past Legia Warsaw? Like, I understand we're not good, but there just needs to be, we need to take a step back, right? Like,
agreed.
Exactly. There needs we need to take the good and the bad. That's what I'm saying. Like when you look at what heights that our attack were reaching at the beginning of the season, that's why the lows right now really, really suck. But our attack is still, if teams went back to facing us, like for example, Wolves did at the beginning of the season, we would be getting goals past them just because we could be creating too much of a volume of chances, as bad as we are right now.
This is why it's very hard for me. This is why it's like that comment earlier was saying that Maresca doesn't coach an attack. It's just like horse shit. Do you know what I mean? It's why I didn't really get on Poch last season when we missed chances, because that's on the players. Do you know, that's on the players when they miss chances. It's not on the manager. It'd be on the manager more if we weren't creating the chances. If we weren't, if we were like, even on the Potter, we created loads. We've always had this problem for the last 7-8 years. We create. I wish someone had like stats of the last since Costa left, and sorry, maybe even since Hazard left. How many chances, like I mean, no, I bet we're up there for most like chances missed for the last like 6-7 years as a team, because we create a hell of a lot of chances. And, and I would say, someone put it in earlier, Neto was putting in some very good crosses there, and Jackson doesn't have the attribute of anticipation as a striker. He doesn't have it.
Yeah.
As a number 9, you have that instinct. You had that instinct. It's not that is not coached into you. That is instinct. That is something that's natural born that you have as a striker. Okay, you just have it. And I agree with CP. I don't know why he gets a bad rap. I know why CP gets a bad rap. But Jonathan David, no matter what you think of him, whether it's a backup or whatever, or someone like that, because they have an instinct. Do you know what I mean? Strikers have an instinct. And Neto was putting in some very good crosses, but we don't.
Sorry, sir, can I add to this?
We always say that. That's what I said since he's gone here. Jackson, older fans, is Solomon Kalou.
Yeah.
Solomon Kalou. I had Solomon Kalou up front under Mourinho. Maybe under Mourinho, but you know what I mean? Up front, if Drogba and Nelka weren't there, it's Solomon Kalou, bro. It's Solomon Kalou. That's what this guy is. He just doesn't have that.
Sorry, Surfer, I just wanted to add to your point. Like, AC Milan fans weren't complaining when people in Zaghi was scoring goals. It was ugly goals. It was shitty goals. But he was scoring goals.
This is a Fulham team that last week beat Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
I put 3 past Liverpool, right?
Yeah, something like that. They've been really good at home.
I had loads of chances against Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
This is what I mean. Like, the league is so up and down that it's so hard. Like, before the Ipswich game, I said, like, I can't guarantee that we're not going to make Champions League, right? And everyone here with Chess saying, look, yeah, we're not going to make it. There's no way. Newcastle are better. Aston Villa are better. Newcastle just got mollywopped by Aston Villa 4-1 after having such a complete season. And now Villa right now are looking great. They've won 5 on the trot, maybe even more. And they're up against City. And who knows what will happen. But this top 5 race, this Champions League race is very interesting.
Forest in a mini slump.
They lost 2 in a row.
They go to Spurs tomorrow night.
Everybody said it was a foregone conclusion that Forest was in the UCL.
Right.
Where's the foregone conclusion now?
I just think, listen, that's why this top 4 race is the most inconsistent top 4 race, or top 5 Champions League. Sorry,
it really
Champions
is.
League Faces race is the most inconsistent. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
it really is.
I mean, you can't listen. City won the other day, but you know, they weren't. You know, they just Everton is a tough cookie. You know what I mean? It'll be tough for us to try and beat. But it's one.
Here's the thing I want to ask you guys, because I feel like it's been alluded a lot in recent time, in terms of like. Scott reminded me when he talked about our team being suited for counterattacking, which I agree. In terms of the pace that we have up front, the passing ability we have up front, it does seem like it is more suited for counterattacking ball. And we're just not really doing that. And on top of it, too, we don't have good enough center backs, in my opinion, to really have a good defense to sustain that kind of pressure. But that's not even where I want to go with this. What I wanted to go into is, do you guys feel that there's this narrative now going that, to a degree, I do see where it's coming from, that when things started to turn around for Chelsea was when the hangover of Pochettino started to end? Because because the way we look at the form going into the season, people were giving Pochettino credit. Oh, they're still playing Poch ball. Maresca's is not the credit. You know, there was that, and I fought against it because with the preseason and all that, we heard what Maresca saying. Oh, I'm trying to train them out of their high line and all this and that. I didn't want to really, entertain this idea that, oh, the players are just doing what Poch instructed them to. This isn't Maresca's doing. And then the form before December, it was a little sketchy. We were winning games, but we were making, I think Bournemouth what game was it? Like we were just barely scraping wins, and we were winning, but it wasn't as convincing. And then all of a sudden, Boxing Day comes around, and we flip, do a 180, and we start to dip in form. Do you think that at that point is when Maresca fully started to really instill his system, and the system is kind of what's been, hurting us more than I guess being found out?
No, I think what he did wrong was when they asked him about top 4 race, and he title race.
Yeah, title race.
He said we're not ready and stuff like that, and it's like, well, why would you do that? Why would you do that out loud? First of all, do you know what I mean? It's like trying to build some type of mentality here. Why would you just? Because players, listen, we all know players will take. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, right? They'll take any excuse to not take ownership, and you can't fire 22 players or fire like you do a coach and everything like that. I don't know why Maresca just didn't go. No, we'll see how we go. Do you know what I mean? Well, we'll take it one game at a time. We're going to see these guys are up for a fight, and we'll go from there. Instead, he went, "Oh, we're not ready." He tried to do the old Mourinho little horse thing. Do you know what I mean? In 13-14, it was like, well, first of all, Mourinho gets credence for that because of the history he's got. He can say like we can evaluate him, and he can go, yeah, we know what he's talking about. But this guy's come in and he's got 1.5 years of management experience, essentially, and stuff like that. But you're trying to build something instead of like instilling belief in the players and going, you know what, these players are playing really well. Let's see how far we can go. I'm challenging these guys to go. Like in the first half of the season, that after the West Ham away game where he went, well, I'm telling the players what I want them to do. If they don't do it, they're gonna, they're not gonna be in the team. Why didn't he just repeat something like that? You know what I mean? I want my players to do this. If they don't do it, they can go out the door. You know what I mean? And instill that like personal that. When he was challenging, remember when he was challenging players through the first half of the season? He was like going, "Oh, I want them to do this. I want them to do that," and then we're seeing them rise to the challenge. And then he just went, "Nah, we can't do this. We can't do that." And it was like, why?
Oh, speaking of which, speaking of him doing things, I don't care that he did. It's another thing. All that talk of Sanchez kicking it long and all the comments he made about Jorgensen and Hermansen when he was at what's it called, Leicester. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's another thing. Absolute bullshit. Sanchez started again, and that's not even me saying he had a bad game, and it's not even me saying he shouldn't have started. But all that nonsense he was spewing about Jorgensen, I told him if he kicks it long, I'd bench him and all that shit.
Sanchez did long for Ipswich.
Goal in the last game.
And for me personally, like to Marshall's question, right? I think at the beginning of the season, and this is my thing too, and at the end, like last season, no team respected us, bro. Every team came out almost acting like they could win against us. And to be fair, like with the way that we were set up, yeah, you could win against us. Just as easily as we could beat you, you could beat us. It's just like it's a coin flip on the day, whether or not you beat us or we beat you. And a lot of teams went with that mentality at the beginning of the season, and then as we are second, a lot of teams realize, listen, if we try to go toe-to-toe with them and Caicedo pokes out the ball and he quickly plays it in behind, we're just kind of cooked. Like, we need to have people behind because we can't let them counter. They're too deadly on the counter. So they started to sit back against us, right? And it was at that point in time where we started seeing the struggles with the system, right? We started seeing us kind of barely getting it across the line. And then by the Everton game, it had been fully figured out that if you cut out a lot of the passing lanes, our wingers aren't going to go one-on-one, and we're going to be heavily reliant on crosses. And once our team is heavily reliant on crosses, we're pretty much man marked out of the game because we don't have anybody that's an aerial threat in the box. And at that point in time, that's where you have to start looking at Maresca to try to move stuff in the system, to try to make tiny movements, here or there, tactical adjustments to try to break down these teams. And he didn't because he's inexperienced. Like I said, Maresca had enough experience in the footballing world to create a system, but past that, he doesn't have the ability to tweak it as he needed to in the Prem, like a lot of managers do in the Prem. Managers have styles of play. Not a lot of managers have a system. Because once you are married to a system and it gets found out, you are kind of cooked. The only thing that saves it is if you have basically world-class players in a lot of positions that are able to execute the systems to such a high level that a lot of teams struggle to do that. We don't have that. And we needed the aerial threat. We didn't get it in, and he didn't recognize it. It's been way too long to realize. We needed a different look, and we struggled because after the Everton game, everybody kind of got the blueprint, and we saw it again and again and again. And then during that window, like I said, we saw the naivety from the players, right? We saw the lack of mentality from the players. We saw Maresca getting outcoached. We saw him make substitutions late. You remember how pissed we were earlier in the season? And during that time, why are you taking so long with the subs? You know, it was a whole running joke. 87th minute, in Kuku sub to do absolutely nothing for no reason. And I think like you could, I don't know if necessarily it's like a pod hangover, because I do think that when the teams, like the system, again, these are professional footballers. They do not take 6 to 8 months to learn a system. They don't. I would say 2 to 3 months, you start, fixing stuff out. So then within our good run, the system was working. The issue is teams adapt. Other teams adapt to us and our system and our way of wanting to play. And that's when Maresca, that's you earn your paycheck, because it's not only putting in a style of play in a system to the team, but then it's being able to tweak that match by match, or as you go down with injuries. And I don't think he's done that effectively. I think a lot. I think half of the burden of what we went through during that December-January period was him being naive. Like it should not have taken him like 10 games to realize Nkuku false line is not ever going to work.
Mm-hmm. And some of that early, the only part of that, been quicker with it. The only part of that run, the last part of the run, I agree with. I think the early part of the run, like I go to that game against Crystal Palace, right? We're comfortably winning 1-0. We hadn't taken our chances, and then Palmer does that stupid mistake in the middle of the field, and they go and equalise 1-0, right? Against Everton, great chances again. I think we should have had a penalty in the Palace match as well.
It's true.
Should have had a penalty in the Everton match, as Pickford got taken out. The game against Fulham, obviously, that was a momentum thing where his substitutions didn't make them right. Mm-hmm. More recently, it's been about it's sort of half and half of him. Yeah, it's due to his inexperience and some of his in-game management. But again, I always go back to the fact that we give goalkeeper. How many games have we given unknown goalkeepers their career highlights or their career games this season?
You know what I mean? Sells, we had Palmer. Then before that was Flecken.
Or how many we missed you guys are rubbish. You guys can't do anything. It's like, well, yeah, but look how many fucking chances we had. We didn't take it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and then everything's linked, because then we'll go back to we haven't done this because we haven't got 1, 2, and 3 to do this. We haven't got a recognised striker, and it just links and goes up and goes up and goes up and goes up. That's what I say. It's just we reek of inexperience and like immaturity and unpreparedness. Do you know what I mean? It's what we reek of. I think if he gets, it's going to sound mad to people in the chat. I think if he gets Champions League football and the Conference League, given the way this season has done, I think he would have done a magnificent job. Given the circumstances he's had to go through and what he's had to put up with and stuff like that, I will say this: the goalkeeper, he needs to cut out this BS comments like the goalkeeper and stuff like that. That's what really annoys me. It's like just say, well, I'm still Sanchez is my number one. Do you know what I mean? Well, he doesn't even say we'll reevaluate the situation in summer. At the moment, Sanchez is my goalkeeper in the league, and Jorgensen is my goalkeeper in the cups, like he did earlier in the season. What needs to say? Mm-hmm.
His comments in general are getting worse. Andrew, did you see his comments after the game today?
No, I rarely.
I got one. Hold on, I got one.
It's the one I'm thinking of. So there was a comment the other day that he made about, I don't know if you saw it, about being in top 4 or being in the Champions League.
Yeah.
About how we haven't been in the Champions League the last 3 years. We've been in the Champions League spots this season. That's progressional. So it was something like that. He basically doubled down on that point today. Someone asked him. There you go. This is the quote.
Maresca, the goal from Pedro doesn't change the season. In the last 3 years, Chelsea have never been in Champions League spot. It's already a good season, and the goal doesn't change that. It gives us a chance to be there.
He needs to stop talking. He is. Actually, he might already even be on the same level.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he might. In
I
terms
think
of what he
Poch
said
was
in-
crashing out a lot earlier, but he's
he
getting
might
there.
be on the same level as Poch. You know, like
Yeah.
there are just times. Just stop talking. Just stop. Like we got a good win today, and you did well in terms of in the second half. Like with the subs. Just say find a different way to say this that doesn't sound like this. This is genuinely like just a ludicrous way of putting this. It's like the same with the we spoke about. I don't know if we spoke on this stream. I spoke on another stream. The comments he made before the Legia game of like what was the exact like? I'm paraphrasing, but like these guys need to like feel honored to be or whatever it was about the quote. It's like I understand the message you're trying to get across, but the way you word it is horrible. Like I can't remember the but it's the way he.
It's something about motivation, Scott. I think like they want to be motivated.
It's the way he puts things across. The message might be the right message, but you word it in such a way that it's not. It's just a wrong way of wording
I
it.
wish they would post the actual question with this, because sometimes the question.
Yeah, I don't know what the questions are either.
The question. I really wish because I want to know the question because sometimes the answer is obviously based on the question. Now, if we're taking just the answer value, then I would have just changed it to magnificent goal by Pedro last minute. Hopefully it builds us momentum as we battle for a Champions League place, and we just move on from there. Essentially, there's no need to talk about past seasons. Past seasons don't matter because it's just like irrelevant past seasons because it's just totally different factors. You know, I would just.
But to an extent, to this comment,
he's probably saying similar shit when we were winning, but we just didn't care.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like or ludicrous things that didn't make sense, but we didn't care because we were winning.
He's really brutally honest, right? And this, to an extent, too. Like, here's the thing: Andrew just said it, and I can't disagree. Like, when you look at our expectations at the beginning of the season for this manager who is inexperienced, taking on this team with after a Pochettino and all of this and that, getting rid of so many players. I don't know. There's a lot of factors you can consider, right? Take what you will. When you take in all those factors, plus the factor that he's inexperienced, I do think even though we rough and tumbled our way there, at the end of the day, the result is the result. If the result is UCL and you win the Conference League, then that's to an extent overachieving for Maresca. Yeah. It really is.
I'd like to ask these people, given what you know now, from who we hired, the transfer window, what we didn't do in January, and if you whatever term you want to put it, but if you are not like thinking, but if you're still at the same mentality that we should be doing better right now, then I don't know what to say because I just don't know where you're coming from in terms of logic wise, in terms of.
I do think we've done a lot better.
We complain constantly about recruitment throughout the season.
Yeah,
we complain about not having the right goalkeeper, the right striker, the defense, and stuff like that. And yeah, well, it's rightful that we criticize in-game management and stuff like that. How you can go, well, it's not a bit overachieving with what he's had to deal with, then and it's not praising mediocrity, it's just looking at what we've been built as at the moment. Do you know what I mean? This is what this is. You're surprised by us being inconsistent, then that obviously comes from how we did in the first half of the season, where it was overachieving the first half of the season. Yeah. Like second, a couple of points by Liverpool. But really, we just plateaued in what I always thought we were, an inconsistent side. And with an inconsistent manager. And we're showing it right now. It just took us a bit longer to get there than what I thought it would do. Because I thought we'd be like this all throughout the season.
Yeah. I do believe that the football hasn't, like, I'll be honest, I have hit a point where, we were never first. I have hit a point with Maresca where the football, even for me, is like really hard to watch at times. But at the end of the day, the result is what matters. I know today the result really didn't faze me because I've already kind of like, to an extent, just been so fed up with how things have been going and the fan base. And just even today, if you look, I mean, I'll play it, but even today, just this comment, right?
I
The
actually
player
like
deserves the player deserves
Yeah,
to celebrate. I like it, but obviously not everyone sees this like we do. There are fans that are looking at this like he has no respect for the fans, the away going fans, and this and that. His comments was the players deserve to celebrate with the fans. That is the reason why I left the pitch early. It was a nice moment for the players and the fans, and to an extent, I understand where he's coming from with that, because I think right now he's under a lot of scrutiny. And if you look at how the fans reacted to him at halftime, then I don't think there's I don't really have high hopes that they were going to react to him very nicely either. So it does kind of not taking him out of the factor reduces any chance of some negativity being thrown at the players who do not need that at the moment. But this is what was being yelled at halftime.
Well, full time.
Halftime.
Oh, okay. I thought it was full time there for a second.
You can hear them shouting "wanker,
Yeah,
wanker,
I can hear him
wanker."
saying wanker. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
It's like Postecoglou.
I mean, this has been
all
Chelsea.
over.
Chelsea done this like all the time anyway. Like when we're in bad form in general, like you're gonna get cursed out. Like Sarri had that from the get go actually with the Chelsea fan base anyway. Like fuck Sarri ball and all that. So
Yeah,
it's really not a surprise. And I was gonna say like Enzo Maresca, I think is by far like Chelsea's best manager since the new ownership as well. Like from defense, like you saw from Poch, we could see it way more as well. Like we obviously shut that out. No difference in defense. We didn't buy any. And attacking wise, I think we created more chances than last season as well. It's just Cole Palmer's not obviously in the shooting boots as normal as like last season, and we've been in top 4 for most of the season. We haven't got that yet, and we're still competing for top 4. We've not really had that. We had that at the end of last season. Like we almost got there, but that wasn't enough.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I do still stand strongly on my stance about the fan base and all that, but that leads me to the next question I wanted to ask, which is, okay, how do I word this? We know that early onset, before Maresca was assigned to this job, that there was always this notion that we wanted to kind of follow along with what the Arsenal model was. And so what I have to ask is, do you guys feel that, and we're looking at the Arsenal model right now. I mean, as of right now, there's a feel-good factor about it. They're in the Champions League semifinal. They've been competing for the Prem title for the last 3 seasons. This season, not so much. They fell off because of injuries. But in terms of that project, do you guys feel that Maresca is that guy to do that? Are you having your doubts? Where do we stand on that? Because it seems very similar.
It's not the same. It's not the same whatsoever. Arsenal's project was never a youth project. They never really bought an abundance of youth like we bought. You know what I mean? They bought through a couple of youth in Saka. Martinez was bought through by Emery, but they really bought they bought experienced players. Then whether they're quality or not is different to what they. You know what I mean? They bought Zinchenko, they bought Jesus, Odegaard, stuff like that. Partey, Rice, even Gabriel and stuff like that. Ours is totally different, and also, I'll tell you, it's way more power than Maresca will ever have at Chelsea. Way more power.
That's very true, actually.
He saw off Edu, for Christ's sake. Do you know what I mean? So he saw off Edu. And, and I don't really care about how much we spent and stuff like that. You shouldn't really care how much we spent. Nobody cared before.
I don't care either.
Exactly. You shouldn't care how much we spent.
How much is on young players?
What we spend money on, not how much we spent. I really couldn't care.
There's also this notion I want to clarify real quick, Surfer, is that people keep saying we spent 1.4 billion. That's how much we will have spent if all the players we signed run their contracts down to the brim. If we sell them beforehand, let's say after 10 years, we see how much we spent in this window with these players. It's probably going to be a different price. Let's just be real.
And it's offset. It's also offset by, and nobody, people say I don't care, but it's also offset how much we bought in as well. We're the best selling club.
But
the best selling club over the past few years. Do you know what I mean? It's offset by about 800, 900 million that we bought in or something like that. We bought nearly $1 billion in. You know what I mean? And it's like, but we all know, right? We all know that a transfer window in the summer probably looks like Delap, Hoydson, and someone else. Do you know what I mean? Like that. And that's unfortunate because this is going to sound mad. In some ways, getting the Champions League, how do I put this without sounding mad? Getting the Champions League might be a bad thing overall because it would go, oh, the sporting director will go, yeah, everything's going right. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Yeah. I'm sorry to say it will.
Yeah,
you know
wrong.
What I mean? And and everyone goes, oh, yeah, the Champions League, but I don't want to be in the Champions League if we're finishing 22nd, 24th or something like that, or 25th or something like that, which you can see, or the fact that then again they've got no excuse of how much money they pay people now because all our wages will go up. So when it comes to an Osimhen deal, you've got no excuses. You've got loads of players earning over 200k a week now. You know what I mean? So you've got no excuses not to pay. Now, whether you factor that in, the deal is, yeah, you get paid as long as you're in the Champions League, but it goes down if you don't. That's a different story. So you've got no excuses then. So it's a bit of carrot and stick situation. Yeah, you get Champions League, the sporting director will go, oh, yeah, we're doing well. But then again, now when you go into negotiations, there's no excuses for this wage structure crap whatsoever. There's no excuses. You cannot get in the Champions League and go after high profile targets and go, oh yeah, well, it's 150k base salary. It doesn't work. And stuff like that. It just doesn't work. And also it doesn't work. I don't mind bringing the Bournemouth kid in, but without anyone supervising them, then are we just going to have the same type of stuff we're having with Colwell and his development? Do you know what I mean? We're just going to stunt the kid's development. You know what I mean? It's like it's important to me to. I don't care what anyone says. I think he's a very good centre. It's important to me that we get someone like Gerhi in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And another one to actually help these guys. Do you know what I mean? To take the pressure off them. The same with up front, like getting Osimhen in, and getting whoever you want to get, like, and getting a very good goalkeeper in, or bringing back a Petrovic or something like that, and getting him in. No one's going to develop under Maresca. That's a false statement again. That's a false statement again. It's sort of that. It's what I hate. It's like, but no one's developed under him this season. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, it's a complete farce.
Absolute horseshit, man.
Yeah,
absolute horseshit.
No, that's what I mean. Like we said it earlier with the balance takes.
Cole's getting a bad rap now, but Cole was actually playing well for Fana before Fana got injured. Cucurella's developed even more. Enzo's got better even more. Caicedo's got better even more. Now Sancho's starting to get better even more. Neto's getting better. You know, Palmer, yeah, you can have a look at Palmer, no problem, but he's creating chances. He's just not bagging the goals. Yeah. Before Jackson went through the run of form, people were saying Jackson's one of the best strikers in the Premier League. So what are we doing here? Why are we just telling lies? You're telling lies right now. You're just lying with random bullshit statements you come out with.
Listen, you might if you don't like Maresca, that's one thing.
Yeah, he's got worse than what we thought he was. Yeah,
Sanchez has developed. Honestly, stop it. Stop. But Chris and CP, I mean, how do you feel about Maresca in terms of like a long-term Arteta-esque kind of project? I know it's not similar.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't answer that properly. Go for it. I went on a tangent.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same because he hasn't got the same type of power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
And I don't think he should have because he hasn't got. But then again, Arteta didn't have that experience. It's not the same because the recruitment's not the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was allowed to build up, bring a core in, then help the younger players like a Saka develop more, then bring more quality around Saka, to help Saka even to become even better, so forth. And like with Saliba and develop Gabriel, make him better. He changed his goalkeepers. He leveled up his goalkeepers after getting rid of Martinez, which was a mistake. But no matter what you thought of him, he leveled up his goalkeepers. You know, he saw a problem, got rid of the goalkeeper, brought Ramsey in. He was a problem, wasn't good, put Raya in, and he'll probably get rid of Raya soon if he starts doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I the problem is he works in tandem. We did try to evaluate, but he'll work more in tandem with the new guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll have more of a say. Oh, I need this. I wanted Mourinho. He got Mourinho in. You know, stuff like that. You know, whatever you think about it, he wanted Kai Havertz. He got Kai Havertz in. You know, stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. I don't think it's the same for me.
Would you be willing to wait?
If it is, we're doing it on like steroids. If it is.
Yeah, I guess the question is like, would you be willing to wait to see this out and see if Maresca can do an Arteta style of, you know, development and improving the team? Because right now I don't know where I feel with it. Like if he's this stubborn and he can't develop a plan B, next season is going to be really telling. If he can, now he has his system down. The plan B part is where I'm kind of hesitant, and this decline has been a little shocking and jarring, to be fair.
So the only thing I've seen difference with this is that the biggest thing I had of criticism of Arteta was not his league improvement, was that how he just didn't take the cup seriously. So if he could do, like, obviously we'd want us to change the league, but if he could do a steady build up like Arteta did, but actually take more notice in the cups and win a cup or two along the way to build up a winning mentality, because that's what I feel like Arsenal lack. They lack of winning. They haven't won anything, so they lack a winning mentality. That's what I would do. Of course, you want to speed through and instantly go from where we're going to finish up to challenging and stuff like that. Everyone wants to do that, but it all goes down to the recruitment again. That's why my predictions always wait until after the transfer window shuts. And the transfer window shut, then I can look at the teams and go how I think they're going to do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Neto scum. Damn.
That's he's
an Arsenal fan. Yeah.
Dow. Big up Dow, but also fuck you, Dow.
Big up Dow.
Yeah. Chris, CP, what do you guys feel about this?
I echo a lot of what Andrew says.
I've got to go.
Like,
Night to WrestleMania.
Yeah, we're all WrestleMania nerds.
Is that today?
Yeah. No, what do you mean? I'm with you, man. I'm a nerd too. I'm gonna watch it too, man.
I'm going right now. I'm not missing the kick.
Yeah, I don't want to miss it too.
We'll wrap it up soon, then. Yeah, we'll wrap it up soon. Like, go ahead if you gotta head out.
I'm about to head out, but like I say, like I do echo what a lot Andrew just said. Like with Arteta, he's had a whole squad he's built, like with experienced players. What Enzo Maresca's had, and yeah, he's a lot less experienced than Arteta, but what he's had this season, and realistically, it's just Neto. I think Neto's a great player, and Sancho. Can you name anyone else who he's had this season? Like barring the youngsters.
Yeah, that's where the recruitment. Like I this is also the part where like I do sympathize with.
He's not had
Maresca.
He's not had a striker.
The recruitment aspect has been a little jarring, and I think this season was a very big eye opener in terms of our depth. It's not as good as we thought it was, and we need to work on that, and we need to make Chelsea in the beginning of the season felt like a competitive space. Now, not so much. Especially with how the B team has let us down a few times, forcing Maresca to play 18 players. Now you have players in the A team in the Conference League who don't take it seriously because they know their spot in the Premier League is safe. Like the whole dynamic has been fucked up, essentially. So it's one where I feel for him. I am not Maresca out. But the Maresca football that I've been seeing so far, it's not very thrilling, and it's not, giving me confidence.
I'd just say, obviously, if Enzo Maresca gets to Europa League or Champions League, I think that should be good enough to still stay, and he should get a season where he gets another striker because we have just Jackson, and that's just not fair on Jackson, I don't think. And I know Jackson's also been really poor, but like we still need another striker, and we need maybe another centre back. I still think he's actually improved our defense a lot from last season, considering it's the defense hold didn't change from last season. So, but yeah, like, yeah, I feel like he needs another season with an actual transfer window. If he gets Champions League football, hopefully the owners actually like back him and give him a striker, give him maybe another winger, a centre back, a backup to Cucurella, because we have no backup to the Cucurella no more. Like we bought a centre back where they thought he'd be a left back, and he doesn't want to be a left back by the looks of it. So I do feel for Enzo Maresca in a way, because he's just been put in a situation where he has to make the best of what he's got, and a lot of these players like Sancho, Neto, and all that are just not scoring the goals for him as well. And we do create a lot of chances. The system does create a lot of chances, and we just miss. So it is one of them. But I don't think it's fair to compare him and Arteta, though.
Fair enough. All right, Chris, go ahead and
I'll see you later anyway.
Have a good night, man. CP, I'll ask you the same question in terms of what I was saying with the rest of the crew here. With the project manager thing that we're going for, do you feel as of now, as we're closing in on the season, do you feel that Maresca is the guy that we should stick with and hope that he kind of gives us what Arteta's giving Arsenal, but maybe with more trophies along the way?
If he gets me Champions League, sure. The lowest he can get me is Europa League. And I'm not saying Europa League because we won the Conference League. I mean Europa League because we got the points and the placement for that. That's the lowest he can get for me. And along with that, he has to win the Conference League.
Yeah.
So that's what he needs to get. Also, the squad planning is so weird because we're talking about thinking of getting Gittins or Nico Williams or whoever. And Tyreek George is going to be the left wing backup or whatever it may be, or Neto. I don't care. We literally bought Quenda, people, for the season after. So where the fuck? So if we buy a new winger this summer, and then even if we get rid of Madueke, we still have Neto, we have Esteval, and we have George, sure. Then the season after, we have to get rid of someone again because Quenda's coming in and we'll have 6 wingers.
It's like you said, the recruitment part is weird, and that's where like I think
there's no planning, there's no succession planning.
Yeah, Maresca gets a lot of leeway for me because of the recruitment, but I will say this. I think even with how bad the recruitment is, we have a team that should be good enough to win the Conference League. And for me, even if you don't make UCL, even if you miss out in terms of placement, I'll even say this, even if you miss out on Europa because of placement, right? You must win the Conference League. If you don't, for me, that's where I draw the line. That's where I already become Maresca out. And I will draw that line very, very vividly, guys, in chat. I will be Maresca out if we do not win the Conference League.
Or for me, it's like if you don't win the Conference League, but we're top 4, that's the only excuse. If we get if we get a Champions League,
then, man,
I'll keep him then because we got this is the first manager in Clear Lake that we've gotten Champions League again. So that's the only way I would keep him. That's the only reason. If it's Europa League, then
and even then, I'm on the fence, you know.
No, I understand. Because it should be a surefire win for us.
Exactly, because the beginning of the season for me was like, okay, I was already on the fence because I was like, let's just see what happens, right? And we saw what happened. The beginning of the season was great. And then when we got to the halfway point in December, that's when things started to really fall apart. And, you made a strong argument in the beginning. So you had my support. But now I'm seeing how the football's been going. And I know at this point in the season, it's more result-based. That's important than the actual football aspect of it. And I understand this guy's an inexperienced manager. He's already done this at Leicester. We're seeing the similarities now here at Chelsea. And I know there's a recruitment issue. But, dude, you do have enough tools. And I said this to Poch last season as well. You have enough at your disposal to get UCL, right? And we saw it. And he is still in and amongst the fact.
I don't think he has enough tools this season just because Villa literally strengthened in the window by getting Rashford and Asensio. And we sold, even though we don't rate Felix and all that, we literally gave away attackers.
You say that about Villa though, but like Newcastle up and down, right? They could potentially lose or draw
better,
a game.
No? But the front line's better. No, you would say that for sure.
Yeah. Based on this season,
Gordon, no.
Isak
Gordon's
has
way
been
better.
carrying them a lot.
No. But Gordon already has 11 or 13 goals in the league.
Has he?
Jacob Murphy has 9. That's better than every winger we have. Our high-scoring wingers, matter what
Yeah. Murphy's low-key been cooking for them. I ain't gonna lie.
3 are actually way better in terms of attack. Right? So,
but I'll say like you have Villa up against City next week.
Yeah,
and Forest, who have been a bit of a dip that we're playing as well. Listen, there is a way for us to get it. I'm not very hopeful about it. I'm not going. If we win against Everton, my hope will be restored. I'll say this: if we win, we have to win, because that's the thing I have not seen enough wins. Even under Poch, I saw wins, but
I think if we win against Everton and we win against Man United, that's going to give us top 4. I think
so too. I agree with that.
If we beat Everton and Man City, then we can draw with the rest or lose the rest even. But the goal difference has to be not too bad. But as long as you do that,
I think a lot of it heavily relies on what's going to happen with City against Villa. That's a big game. That both these teams are in a UCL race with us, and so
we need draws. We need
a draw, but if one drops out, then that's one less that we just need to win our game, and then we overlap one or the other.
Yeah.
So it's if it's a draw, we overlap both with a win, which would be great. Or we clear both, I guess. Let me look at the standings one more time. Yeah, because we're one behind City, and we're the same points with Villa. So if they draw,
we would top both of them.
Yeah, we would top both of them. Villa would be we would make the gap between us and Villa a little wider by 2 points, I believe. And even City will have been ahead of by 1 point. Do Newcastle play anyone of significance here in this little run?
They're playing.
They do go up against Arsenal and us.
They're playing Ipswich next week, but Forest are playing Brentford, and Brentford won 4-2 against Brighton this week, tied with Arsenal.
Is it Brentford home or is it Brentford away? Did you see?
No, but I can check right now.
Brentford away is a different animal.
Is City Ground Brentford Stadium or Forest's? I don't know. It's called City Ground. Let me check. Brentford's. Yeah, that's Brentford Stadium. It's Brentford home.
Okay, so that might be a Forest win. Because Brentford's home record's horrible this season.
Yeah,
but
they're on a decent run recently because they drew against us, drew against Arsenal, and won against Brighton.
Oh, okay. Thank you, EPL Turf. So it's away for Brentford, so they might have a chance. Who knows? They have good players. That's the thing. There's a possibility. We'll see. I already stated what my criteria is for Maresca. At least win the Conference League. I will be on the border, but like I understand the circumstances in which you were kind of set up to either succeed or fail. Next season, I really hope that these directors can fix up. Listen, I don't want them. I'm hoping for them to fix up because I need Chelsea to be better. And that requires the directors to do better as well. Whether they stay or they go, we bring in someone else, Luis Campos. I don't know. I doubt it. But if they fix up,
we're so we have 15 points left, right? Because there's 5 more games, and if we get 6 more points, we're basically tied for points from last season.
Okay.
Right now, because we're 57 and we got 63, if I'm correct, last season.
Yeah, not a fan, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, so we're about 2 wins away. 2 wins away from getting last year's, and we can obviously exceed that a little bit. Let's see.
Chelsea are undefeated in their last 4 games. That's a plus side, I guess. Fucking A. Ridiculous.
It's screaming draw for me. Everton screaming draw. Screaming draw.
That's how I feel right now.
Know it.
Yeah, I know. I'm not very confident right now in this Chelsea team. I really am not.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. But that being said, I think it's time we wrap it up here, ladies and gents. Big up to every single one of you for tuning in. Listen, it's a Chelsea win for me, but it still feels like a loss. I don't know why. I just can't. I can't get that feeling off my chest. But hey, it is what it is. I'll take the 3 points. We desperately needed it. Now we're having conversations of we could potentially still finish in this UCL, whereas before I was kind of checked out of with that. I mean, I still kind of am. I don't see us finishing in UCL spot, but we'll see. I could be wrong about this one. Maybe the team turns it around somehow. I don't know, but that's on Maresca to figure out and not me. But yeah, ladies and gents, big up to every single one of you. Appreciate you guys coming on and joining in on the chat and in the panel. I know there hasn't been a Casually Chelsea show for a bit now, and that's because this is what I mean by the schedule and why I need UCL football, because it's so much easier to make shows on a Tuesday and then come back to it on a Wednesday, or make a UCL reaction on a Wednesday and then go on a Thursday and do Casually Chelsea. But with Thursday games being a thing, it's really, really infuriating, and it's really, really difficult to make time for Casually Chelsea show. And plus, with my band just going the way it's going, it's been really busy as well. But we will try to have one very soon. This is like I know it's my bread and butter, and I haven't been buttering my bread lately, but definitely going to try and aim to get that this weekend, hopefully. Just a bit of a chit chat about what's been going on at Chelsea and all the updates and transfers that we've been linked with and all that stuff, which we haven't talked much of. It's just been games and results. So just little information on that. But yeah, big up to every single one of you. If you haven't done so already, smash up the like button. It does help us out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, which I know lately hasn't been in our favor. But let's turn it around. Let's start to get some results and get people to come and watch the channel more often by smashing that like. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. There is the raid message right there. We're going to go raid Carefree Lewis, who is currently doing WrestleMania. So go ahead, show some love right there. If you're into wrestling, I'm sure you're going to love his watch along. But yeah, guys, I do appreciate you being here. Big up to Chelsea for winning. We'll be back again, I guess Wednesday, or when are we playing again? Yeah, Wednesday is the Chelsea Hour show, and then Saturday will be the big game, Everton. So that's our fifth to last final. So yeah, big up to every single one of you. Thank you for joining in. Copy and paste the red message. I don't know where you're coming from. And until next time, stay casual. Peace out, guys.